So, Billionaire CEO is warning of food shortages and empty shelves. This is getting serious. This is, I believe, the second Billionaire CEO. We had the food CEO of Goya Foods. He was warning probably 3 months ago now that there's going to be massive food shortages. And now we're seeing another Billionaire CEO warning of food shortages, empty shelves at Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, all your favorite stores. What do these people know that we don't know? Why do they keep warning us? You know, it's like people are let in on certain things, and a lot of people, you know, they have a conscience, they have a guilty conscience, so they want to warn people. They want to tell people, they're like, hey, this is coming. And actually, BlackRock's CEO was warning that people should be concerned with food prices more than oil prices. Well, we should be concerned about both because they're intertwined, because the food in your store has to get there on a truck. So the CEO of United Refining Company, John Katzimadis, sorry, I can't pronounce that name there. Sorry, buddy. Voiced similar concerns. All right. He's saying that there is a problem in food prices that could happen as interest rates go up, as there will be shortages of certain products. All right, so a lot of people say they haven't seen any shortages, or, you know, they're just seeing increased prices. But yeah, things are being moved around, things are being shuffled around. We are eating the inflation until we can't eat it anymore, and then there's going to be shortages. All right, prices can only go up so much until people don't pay, but it still costs more to produce these goods, so they're just going to cut back on producing them and create real food shortages all throughout the world. And even a New York City food bank executive is warning that demand is on the rise. They are seeing tons of new people enter their system and come back every week to try to get food for their family. People are struggling. And they're saying here, quote, "A dollar does not stretch as far any longer." This is true, okay? It's like, yeah, something might go from $1 to $2, but when you buy that in bulk for a food bank or something like that, that means you can only feed 50 people instead of 100. If you have $100, you could have normally bought 100 of these things. Now you can only buy 50 because it just went to $2. So this is having a huge impact on people that are the most vulnerable already. They're already coming to these programs looking for help, and then they're being turned away. They're being shut down. And Goldman Sachs CEO is saying that recession risk is high. I believe we are technically already in a recession. The company is slowing hiring. So these are all mega warning signs. All these CEOs, all these billionaires are warning us, hey, there's trouble ahead and we need to get prepared now. Also, Apple has slowed down on their hiring as well, and they're not going to invest as much in 2023. So we are seeing all these companies flash warning signs and show us exactly, you know, that something big is coming. And we've had JP Morgan Chase, their profits are down, I believe, almost 30%. All these huge warning signs are hitting us at the same time. And it was just a year ago that Biden called inflation, quote, temporary. Okay? So this was before the war or anything. All right? They were saying, oh, it's temporary, it's transitory. Remember that word was thrown around a bunch, transitory. But just last month in June, inflation hit an all-time high. I believe it was 9.1%. So we're still hitting new highs, still hitting records, but they're just denying it. I saw they were bragging because gas prices went down a little bit. Yeah, after they reach all-time highs, they have to go down a little bit. They have to go somewhere, right? Once you reach the top, you got to go back down a little bit, right? So it's kind of ridiculous to be bragging about that when they've over doubled since he's been in. And this is the consequence. This is what's going to start happening all over the country, okay? Sacramento's homeless population soars by 67%, and it is now higher than San Francisco. This is going to start happening all over the country. All right, and it's sad. It's very sad. But a lot of people are just getting more desperate. They're getting squeezed out of their normal living conditions, their normal jobs. You know, it's like, oh yeah, the unemployment rate's super low, but then the homeless rate is soaring because the unemployment rate only counts people that are technically in the labor market, you know, looking for a job. A lot of people have just given up. All right. There's some job openings. There's probably a good amount. But a lot of people have given up because they know that it doesn't matter. They're not going to be able to make enough money to afford what they used to be able to afford. And it's very discouraging. And a lot of people are on the edge already, and then they turn to, you know, just bad things, drugs, getting around the wrong people. You know, the only people that'll help them are like sketchy people if they are helpless, so they just get into like bad situations. You know, they're living at some sketchy person's house or something. So this happens, guys. This is just gonna get even worse. People are gonna get more desperate. And yep, soared by 67% in a year. All right, that's a huge percentage. So let's pray for these people. I hope they get help. I hope, you know, I hope they can turn their life around, and I hope the economy turns around too, to make it easier for them. I've even lived in my RV for a couple years, almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, because my house was sold. I was renting, the house got sold. This was all during, you know, the mess, and the rents were just too much, right? Everyone was moving, everyone was trying to get down to Florida, and it was just too competitive. So the most economical thing that I could afford at the time was to live in an RV. You know, that's the reality for a lot of people. That's real stuff. That's real life. You know, a lot of these like RV parks in Florida are just filled with full-time residents. You know, people living there for half the year, months out of the year, are like full-time the whole year. So this is real stuff. You're just paying for a little lot fee just to park your RV on, you know, and it still costs a ton. It still costs $900. So this is reality for a lot of people though. And out west, I've seen it before where there's a lot of like people just parking their RVs on the side of the road, just like camping out, even in neighborhoods, even in places where you wouldn't expect it, because that's all they have. They're desperate, you know. That's their home. That's the home to them. Even like a van or a car or anything like that, and they've been cracking down a lot on it too. Like, used to be able to camp at Walmart overnight. They don't allow that anymore at most of them, you know. So people are just having less and less options, and people are getting desperate. So let's pray for these people. Let's hope that, you know, their situations get better.